tonight. Smoothly fighting weights, fighting wide for over 25 years. And the lineup, as we said in the pregame, will be Ted Jenner. Also back on defense will be Mike Hasen and Reggie Thorpe. Jeremy Hollenbeck and Darcy Sweet up front. Of course, Derek Malawsky out serving his one-game suspension. His brother Curt will be on the floor tonight for Rochester without his brother for the first time all season. And you have John Grant on defense, Andrew Turner and Casey Zaph, and up front, Tim Sedan, Duane Jacobs back on D, Pat Kruger and Marshall Abrams, and Shawn Williams and Cory Bomberry. Starting in between the pipes tonight will be Pat O'Toole. And then on the New York Saints, the scratches for tonight, number 4, Mark Frere, Chris Bryde, Matt Alexander, Darren Much, Joe Gahedna, and Tim O'Brien. So a big contest tonight. Rochester still on the heels of the Albany Attack, who have not lost since they lost to the Rochester Knighthawks on their home turf in early January. And the New York Saints, who started the season 4-2, are now currently 4-8. So they've lost 6 straight games, trying to turn their season around. I mean, obviously they're out of the playoff race, but just trying to get some momentum going into next season.
Yeah, definitely want to build on, these new additions and, get a fresh start. Sal Locasio, first year behind the bench, trying to put this team together, get a makeup here, mixture of Canadian, American, and some young guys coming in and trying to really build a foundation for the New York Saints, and that starts tonight. A real big beginning would be beating a Rochester Knighthawk team, and Rochester needs to know that, and that this team could potentially, they will stay with them, and Rochester cannot fall asleep like they typically have in the past, quarters where, early on in the game when they don't start right from the get-go and get out to an early lead, they tend to fall asleep in the first half and then play catch-up. And they cannot afford to do that with the way that Albany is playing, and your hopes for a home playoff berth, the first one that they would have since, I believe, 95.
And New York, the last game that they played, they lost 15-8 to the Vancouver Ravens on February 16th with a new addition, Jason Clark, Kris Driscoll, and Rob Kirby, who were acquired from Buffalo, combined for 5 points, 2 goals, and 3 assists. When we come back, we'll have the opening face-off for this game, game 13 for the Rochester Knighthawks. This is Rochester Knighthawks across the WYSL 1040 AM and also on the web, WYSL1040.com.
In 2001, Jim Barnard Chevrolet in Churchill helped keep America.
Have they done the anthem yet?
Kicking it into overdrive. Until the end of February.
All right, so how long you want me to go here?
Okay, well, they just go over the other team real quick.
All right.
2002 Cavalier in Pala and Monte Carlo. Every new 2002 Silverado, Trailblazer, and Avalanche. Get $2,002 bonus cash on every new 2002 Chevrolet at Jim Barnard Chevrolet in Churchill. We'll be there. When you're out and about this week, be sure to pick up your copy of Free Time Magazine. Free Time Magazine is Western New York's original arts and entertainment magazine. Twice each month, Free Time puts it all together for you. Every issue covers concerts, sports, film, dining, theater, nightclubs, and festivals, along with interviews of some of America's most interesting performers and artists, plus reviews of the latest movie and CD releases. For just about anything to do with your free time, you'll find the information you need to know in Free Time Magazine. It's available free at more than 600 locations throughout the greater Rochester.
Yeah, these guys are like commercial whores, so. Oh, did I have this on? Oh, shoot, yeah. At any rate, yeah, we got another minute and a half in here for you guys. Let me know what you need. All right.
Small and large businesses alike. Companies choose DeCarlos for sound financial planning, superior equipment, incomparable service, and the energy and good faith that makes us the foremost truck and trailer rental and lease company in upstate New York. Call for a no-obligation consultation with our professionals who will clearly demonstrate how you too can depend on DeCarlos.
All fired up for the winter season. Chase Pickens got the heat. A Comfort Glow vent-free heating system. Choose from gas log, space heaters, or a full fireplace system or stove. All Comfort Glow products are 99% efficient and
I don't hear an anthem yet.
needed. No electricity either. Great for emergency.
All right, we'll throw in a few more. 4, 5, 6 minutes? No, I'm kidding. Couple minutes.
Chase Pickens.
Nighthawks fans, did you know that over 43% of those receiving emergency food assistance through Food Links programs are from rural and suburban neighborhoods? The faces of hunger are our neighbors, and 1 in 3 of them are children without enough to eat. Please join the Rochester Knighthawks help check out hunger this February at all Wegmans, Tops, and Chase Pitkins stores. Just $1.47 helps feed a family for a day. Food Link, fighting waste, fighting want for over 25 years.
There's nothing like a little nighttime entertainment, especially when it involves stockings, garters, and lots of contact. That's right, hockey. We're here to yell, we're here to scream, we're here to soothe our throats. Naturally, we call for the perfect complement to the Canadian game. Canada's beer, Labatt Blue. Like hockey, it's best cold. There's one import everybody gets, Labatt Blue. Look up. See blue. Labatt USA, Norwalk, Connecticut.
If the thought of entertaining puts you in a panic, relax. Pick up the phone and call Tops at 800-925-8925. With a variety of great-tasting prepared foods and platters, Tops makes entertaining a snap. Choose from seafood and deli platters, party sandwiches, fruit and veggie trays, or our incredible dessert trays. Just call Tops at 800-925-8925. Place your order, and we'll do the rest. Whatever the occasion, Tops has just what you're looking for.
Can't reach the people you want when you want them? Try the Nextel Get Connected 6,000-minute rate plan. It gives you 2,700 minutes of Direct Connect, the digital two-way radio feature, plus 300 cell minutes and 3,000 night and weekend minutes, all for $49.99. For more details, call Nextel at 585-350-2000. Nextel, how business gets done. Offer ends March 31st, 2002. Credit approval, 1-year service
Perfect timing.
required. Account setup fee and other restrictions may apply.
The Rochester Knighthawks. Another reason sports fans know News 1040 AM is WYSL, your sports leader.
Back, guys.
Welcome back to the Blue Cross Arena, where tonight the Rochester Knighthawks will battle the New York Saints. And the goaltenders for tonight in goal for Rochester, making his 13th consecutive start of the season, is Pat O'Toole. His record so far this year, 8-3, enters the game with a 13.51 goals against average. And in goal for the New York Saints will be Phil Leatherup, a little bit of a surprise. Gord Nash has been playing most of the games this season for New York. Just looking at his statistics, he's 4-8, played every game with a 14.60 goals against average. So, you know, we were talking about the new atmosphere and they're bringing in new players, so they just maybe want to change it up tonight against the Nighthawks.
Total fresh look here. Sal Locasio, obviously a goalie himself, maybe had a feeling. He said, maybe it's a breakout game that we need to start looking at things, evaluating things a little differently. And, it starts in the goaltending with Phil Leatherup starting indication tonight.
So Reggie Thorpe is going to take the draw for the Rochester Knighthawks. We're set to get underway here. He'll take the draw against Rob Kirby, recently acquired for the Buffalo Bandits. New York wins the draw. McCabe fight for it. Sweet feeds it ahead to Abrams. The shot. Oh, and a shoulder save by Leatherup. So it's going to be Nighthawk ball. So just 7 seconds into the contest, and Marshall Abrams, who missed 2 weeks with an injury, made his return last week in Montreal, getting in on the offense early in this contest. Williams breaks far side in the New York zone as the ball stripped away by Spalina. Spalina goes in there, fighting for the ball, picked up by Sweet. Ball squirts free behind the net. Ball's free in the far corner. Sweet spins away from one, comes out in front of the net, has it knocked away, but Williams is there. He's pinned against the boards by McCabe. Williams still with the ball, has it stripped from him. There's going to be a penalty upcoming here to New York for holding.
Rochester really aggressive after the loose balls. Again, it really is a determining factor. We saw in Toronto, Rochester really not go into the boards for the loose balls. Tonight they're going heavy into them right from the start, picking up most loose balls. New York doing a nice job tying things up with a penalty here. But 2 minutes for a hold.
Rochester on the power play. Jacobs, side of the net to Williams, back to Jacobs, far side, watched there by Prout. Loose ball picked up by Grant. Fars near side to Bomberry. Back up top, Grant. Grant winds, shot, misses the net. Jacobs with the loose ball. Tries to feed it over to Curt Malawsky, has trouble controlling it, squirts it ahead to Bomberry. Bomberry knocks it over to Grant. Grant runs far side behind the back pass, goes too far, and it's scooped off the turf and back the other way come the Saints. Kirby now into the Rochester zone. Another slot, the shot misses the net, banks off the back of it, and Rusty Kruger picks up the loose ball for New York. They have a 3-on-3. Dump back behind the net. Picked up there by Kirby. Kirby still with the ball. Back up top for Prout. Prout far side in the Rochester zone. Had Kruger breaking, but elects to hold the ball. He's watched there by Jacobs. 1 minute and 8 seconds remaining on the man advantage for Rochester. Kruger back up top. Shot clock violation. So it'll be Rochester ball. Prout still fired the ball on Pat O'Toole. Got a couple of boos from the crowd and a couple of nasty looks from the Nighthawk players.
And like that, they're looking for a delay game call right away, but Rochester's got to move the ball a little more crisp. John Grant's trying to force things here. He's got to open it up, draw the defense. As he draws the defense, he'll make an easy pass inside.
Grant shot scored! John Grant beats Weather up over the right shoulder, and it's 1-0 Nighthawk.
There you go, patience. John Grant doesn't have much though. He likes to get on the scoreboard. He's got that lethal shot from out front. It's so deadly accurate. Most of these goaltenders don't know where it's coming, if it's going to be bouncing off the ground or it's going to be in the air. That Phil Weatherup, who looked like he didn't even step on that to see if he could cut that angle off. And John Grant scores right in the middle of the crease.
From after the face-off, Thorpe back to Hasen. Hasen has it knocked out of his stick, and Rosa gets chased from the Rochester end.
Got an over-back violation in Rochester on the possession. Missed that one. The ball was in there and owned end, but nonetheless going to be New York State ball.
Saints setting up in the Rochester zone. Picked up there by Clark. Clark has it picked off, and back the other way come the Nighthawks. Hollenbeck dumps it off for Zaph, races across midfield, pushes it into the New York zone. Wise with a shot, saved by Weatherup, traps it under a stick, can't find it, he scores! Ted Jenner picks up the loose ball in front and pushed it past Weatherup. It's 2-0 Rochester.
Teddy Jenner just waits for the garbage down front. He makes his first goal here in the Rochester Nighthawk on his own turf. Picks up his first one of the year here in Rochester. Did have a goal against Philadelphia, but right in front of the cage, just kind of a little careless with the ball in front. He picks up the Lucy in front and notches an easy one. 2-0 Rochester.
New York wins the draw. Spallina with the ball. Dumps it back in his own zone. Fed back up top now as New York trying to set it up and slow it down. Kirby trying to spin away from Abrams. Still with the ball, trying to break in front of that double team. Loses the handle on it, but Prout recovers. Prout right in front of the net. The shot, he scores! Clash in front of the net, took the feed from Gavin Prout and beat Pat O'Toole. It's 2-1.
Prout, a nice job just waiting, being patient. Didn't have much of an angle. Couldn't have shot that ball, but the last minute he sees Rammer Clash cutting right down the middle, hits him on a nice one. May have stepped in the crease, but a no call, and he puts it by O'Toole.
Bomberry now facing off for Rochester against Kirby.
Looks like we had New York leaving early off the draw. It's going to be a Rochester ball. Hollenbeck will start out top with it.
Sweet with the ball for the Nighthawks. Dumps it off for Abrams in the New York zone. Swings it far side for Williams. Williams over to Sweet. Wide shot. Stay Weatherup. Rebound. Controlled by Sweet. The shot. He scored! Wow! Darcy Sweet picks up the loose ball. Fired it over his shoulder. Nonchalant. And beats Weatherup.
That's another one. Another garbage in front, but a sweet-looking garbage shot right there. The ball came off of the front of Weatherup. Off the shot out in front. Right in front. And the ball down on the ground. Darcy Sweet in the right place at the right time, just picks it up and just easily kind of one-hands it over the top of his shoulder and just floats in the cage for the 3-1 goal differential.
Rochester wins the draw. Fight for it right in front of the New York bench. Hollenbeck going after it, was almost driven into the bench as the door was dislodged. So Dan fighting for the ball near corner. Picked up there by Nagliera, and he gets it right back. So it's goaltender Weatherup who dumps it off for Prout. Prout going one-on-one with Zaph, fights off one check, sprints across midfield. Still with the ball for New York, spins away from another, has a man breaking in front of the net, the shot, and a save by O'Toole in front on Clark.
Nice save in front. Clark busts will open in the middle there, and almost gets an easy goal. Looks like Williams may have slipped in front of the cage there and left his man wide open.
Jenner now spins in front of that, still has it, back up top to Bomberry, swings it near side for Sudan. Fights off one check, springs free, dumps it over to Jenner, tries to touch pass it to Bomberry. Bomberry takes it off the near board. Fed across the way, right in front of the net to Jacobs, a shot, and a save by Weatherup. Nice speed by Ted Jenner, and Jacobs couldn't beat Weatherup. Back up the floor the other way come the Saints. Nagliera spins away from one. Has Glass breaking in front of the net, decides to keep it. He's watched there by Kruger. Dumps it over for Kruger. Kruger spinning away from Thorpe. Tries to dump it in front of the net, and Turner picks up the loose ball. And off to the races he goes, but he decides to slow it down. Now he pushes it up the floor to the New York zone. Has a lane shot. It deflects off a man in front of the net, picked up by Hasen. Far side of the New York zone. Dumps it off for Sweet, who gives it over to Williams, who just came off the Rochester bench. Sprints far side of the New York zone. Watched there by Nagliera. Still has the ball. Williams now. Backpedaling. Fed at the side of the net to Sweet. His pass goes too far. Hollenbeck never saw it. It goes over the midfield strip, so there's an over and back violation.
Rochester doing a nice job pulling it out, setting that 5-on-5 offense, trying to get the ball moving, little continuity. And it seems to me this New York Saint team, just like we talked about, is not going to go with that running gun style, but more of a 5-on-5 flavor.
Well, Toole makes the save, and he's going to start it up the other way. He stopped Curt Driscoll, the former Nighthawk, on that shot. Ran across midfield, into the New York zone. Going one-on-one with Self, loses the handle, but Jacobs is there to pick up a loose ball. It's far side in the New York zone, still with the ball. Breaks away from one, dumps it in front, picked up there by Grant. Grant one-on-one with Prout. Back up top to Jacobs, winds with the shot, misses the net. Rebound, another shot, but it goes over the glass and into the crowd. An acrobatic move, I believe, by Ted Jenner, but he couldn't find the net. He bounced it off the turf and it went into the stands. New York now, the other way. Prout controls for the Saints. Behind the net for Kruger. Kruger pops out in front, trying to spin away from Hasen. He does. He's right in front of the net, but it's picked off by Hasen. That pass was intended in front of the net for Black. Back away come the Nighthawks across midfield. Hasen still with the ball for Rochester. Dumps it off for Abrams. Watched there by McCabe. Gets a pick. Dumps it in the far corner for Williams. Williams springs free. Dumps it over for Sweet. Winds the shot. Scores! Darcy Sweet. His second of the game. His second in a row. It's 4-1 Nighthawks.
Darcy Sweet wide open, hanging out in the corner, just waiting. Like a guard in basketball, waiting for that outside jump shot. Just kind of waits and steps in and fires one. You know, he has a lot of confidence going into tonight for some reason. He looks really strong tonight and just firing from everywhere. Makes it look easy. Keeps Weatherup again to the right-hand side for a 4-1 lead for Rochester.
And Nagliera is crushed into the boards by two Nighthawks. One of those Marshall Abrams, the other Casey Zaph. It's forced back into the New York zone, and they're going to settle it down as Weatherup head-handed. Pass for Clash is intercepted by Thorpe. Starts it up for Abrams across his midfield for Rochester. Pushes it into the New York zone. He's 1-on-4. He's got Williams, Grant, and Sweet coming off the bench to help him out. He dumps it off for Grant in the far corner. Still with it. Winds with a shot. He bounces it past Weatherup. I believe he got a piece of it. He did. It'll be Nighthawk ball. 8:37 remaining. Quarter one, 4-1 Nighthawks. Williams now with the ball. Still with it. Springs free. Breaks in front of the net. The shot, he misses the mark. Ball squirts free out the far boards. Picked up by Sweet. Controlled. Up top to Hollenbeck. Hollenbeck right in front of the net. The shot by Grant misses the net. Picked up there by Malawsky. Curt Malawsky with the ball now near side, setting up the Rochester offense. Still with it. Tries to swing it far side for Williams. I believe it hit him in the back. Squirts free near side. Loose ball fought for by Sweet and Hollenbeck. They go after it. Shot clock violation, and it's going to be New York ball.
Rochester getting a lot of high percentage shots right in front of the goal. Really taking their time waiting for the slides to come from New York. And as soon as they do, they're hitting the opening man, but Weatherup making a couple of nice saves inside.
Brock with the ball in the Rochester zone near corner. Still with it. Trying to spin away from Thorpe. Dumps it in front. Can't hit his man in front of the net. Driscoll goes after it. Picks up the loose ball right near midfield. And he pushes it across the midfield stripe. He never found a hand on that ball. And it's an over and back violation. Kris Driscoll wasn't pressured by anyone, and he just loses the handle.
Yeah, usually the sure-handed Kris Driscoll doesn't drop those. A little flustered here with a new team. Potentially not really concentrating right there.
Bomberry near corner of the New York zone. Fights off one check. Has Malawsky on the doorstep, and it's picked off. And back away comes Gavin Prout across midfield for New York. Pushes into the Rochester zone. And a 3-on-2 developing, but the pass is picked off by Hasen, and it rolls over to Thorpe. Thorpe back to Bomberry. Outlets it to Jenner, who runs across midfield. He's watched there by Prout. Dumps it to the soft for Sudan. Spins away from one. Behind the back. Scored! Tim Sudan took the feed and beat Weatherup. It's 5-1 Nighthawks. Must have new blood pumped in him somehow. I don't know. Tim Sudan, 34 years old. Still looks like he's running like a 22-year-old right down the middle. A little split spin dodge in front, and he goes behind the back. If you remember listening to last week's game, he had another nice one behind the back. And I asked him about that. He said, you know, it just comes natural right there. It looked natural. He did a nice job putting that one in. Makes it look easy. Kirby won the draw. Breaks into the Rochester zone. 1-on-4. And he's stripped of the ball by Marshall Abrams, who gives it to O'Toole. O'Toole up to Zaph. Zaph across midfield for Rochester. Into the New York zone. Takes the pass, now gives it to Abrams. Over to Sweet, near corner in the New York zone. Fights off one check from Nagliera. Back up top. Williams, a shot. It spins away from Weatherup, but he manages to trap it under a stick before it can cross the goal line. Sounds to me like Paul Day said, we'll shoot on this kid all day if he starts, and they are. They're really making him work tonight. Phil Weatherup in the goal for New York. Clark with the ball in the Rochester zone, near corner. Dumps it back up top for Prout. Still has it. Trying to set up a lane to pass it off. He does to Clark. Clark takes the feed. Over to Prout's side of the net. Trying to look for a man open in front. Feeds it over for Clash. It never hits the mark. Bounces in front of the Rochester bench. It's picked up by Grant. He kicks his own stick out of his hands. It should be an over and back violation, and it should be Rochester ball. It is. John Grant didn't get a handle on that, and possession was going back to New York, so they gave it to Rochester. Possession was going to Rochester on the over and back call. Jacobs controls, far corner in the New York zone. Still has it back up top for Bomberry, swings it near side for Sudan. Spins away from one. Back over, the pass goes too far for Bomberry. That's Jenner's pass, but Bomberry picks the ball off the near boards. Trying to fight his way for position. Still with it, feeds it to Jenner. Jenner breaks out from a screen, but misses the net. Jacobs with the ball. Side of that, Sudan misses the net. It bounces towards midfield, skips over the stripe. It'll be over and back. It'll be New York ball. Rochester seems to be real calm in their offense, taking their time, making the good looks, getting some better shots. New York just doesn't seem like they can settle into their own offense. They don't look like they're comfortable running that box-style offense, that 5-on-5 settle. Hogan now with the ball for New York in the Rochester zone. Dumps it off there for Clark. His pass is picked off by Hasen. Back away comes Hasen across midfield. He's got Zaph on his right. Hasen knocked to the floor. Over to Zaph at the side of the net. He's double-teamed. Driscoll got a stick on him, but Zaph breaks away from it. O'Toole leaves the net. There's an extra attacker coming on the floor for Rochester. Delayed penalty to New York. Malawsky now near side. Side of the net to Sweet. He fakes the shot, and a save by Weatherup. Picked up by Curt Malawsky. Dump back up top for Bomberry. Bomberry's got a lane. Side of the net. Over to Williams. Back up top for Bomberry. Over to Sweet, side of the net. He can't pass it over to Williams. It deflected off his stick, picked up by Spalina. And it will be a penalty upcoming to the Saints. We're going to tell you, Rochester had some great looks in there. Shawn Williams sitting right on the doorstep, just Bomberry waiting, and didn't hit him. But looks like there's penalty to number 41, Armando Polanco. He's going to go down for a couple minutes. Take a nap in the penalty box. Williams now. Far corner, back up top to Grant in the New York zone. Grant, side of the net, over to Abrams. Back over to Williams. Williams back up top for Grant. Over to Williams. Williams winds with a shot saved by Weatherup. He scoops it up and outlets it to Prout. Across midfield, he's got a man breaking in front of the net. Clark if he can hit him, but he elects to hold it. Prout now fights off one check. Another check by Turner, a shot and a save by O'Toole in front. Clark picks up the loose ball, line shot, scores. Jason Clark, nifty little goal down in front. Just a hustle off the shot. Ball came off O'Toole's pads out in front. And the deflection left the ball right in Jason Clark's stick. He picked up the loose ball and fired it low and beat Pat O'Toole. And that whole play was created. Great work by Gavin Prout to push the ball deep into the Rochester zone. He got the initial shot off despite being double-teamed, and then Clark was there to pick up the rebound. And that's a man-short goal right there on Rochester. Rochester taking some ill-advised shots. Shawn Williams in close, didn't really have the angle.
Driscoll. Rochester's got to be a little more patient. And right there, Cory Bomberry tries the old the scoop on that one and try to plunge. They call it the plunge. Try to plunge that down into the base of your stick on the face-off. And he gets called for. He cannot do that. Basically, you're withholding the ball from play. So ball to New York.
Black breaks right in front of the net and misses the net. Turner goes after the loose ball. Black wins that battle, dumps it back up top for Driscoll. They're still short-handed. Now in the Rochester zone. Driscoll far side, tries to dump in the slot. It's knocked away, pass intended for Kruger, and it's picked off there by Kruger. And that last goal, Clark scored at 10:45. That's a short-handed goal. 5-2 Nighthawks, 3.5 minutes remaining here in the first quarter. Rochester now setting up the man advantage. Curt Malawsky near side of the New York zone. Back up top for Grant. Swings it over to Williams. Back up top for Grant. Grant still with the ball. Waiting. Side of the net. Can't connect with Bomberry. Bomberry gets the loose ball off the board. Still with it. Swings it over. Wide with a shot. He scores! Duane Jacobs gets it past Weatherup. And it's 6-2 Nighthawks.
Bill Weatherup just doesn't seem to be moving right there, but Duane Jacobs nonetheless, a nice shot. Little bouncer shot off the swing from Cory Bomberry across. Rochester's crisp passing tonight. Ball's moving extremely fast. And right there, Phil Weatherup not sliding across quickly enough and getting set. And Duane Jacobs beats him for his first of the night.
Time of that goal, 11:41. It's a power play goal. Zaph now, side of the net to Bomberry. Bomberry breaks away from one. Wide with a shot. Weatherup can't find it. Scores! It trickles across the goal line.
Bill Weatherup having a tough time tonight with that. Cory Bomberry, one of the hardest shots in the NLL. And he had a free shot at him right down the middle. No one stepped up to play defense. The ball went flying, and Phil actually got a piece of it early. And the ball trickled between his legs into the goal for a 7-2 lead. And New York takes the timeout.
3:05 remaining here, quarter number one, and if you just joined us just to go down the scoring, Rochester started off at 148. A power play goal by John Grant. Ted Jenner then tallied his second of the season at 2:19. Clash answered for New York at 2:40. Then Darcy Sweet scored twice, one at 2:56, one at 5:53. Tim Sudan then scored at 7:47. Clark answered for New York at 10:45. And the last two goals scored by Rochester. Duane Jacobs at 11:41 to make it 6-2. And just recently, Cory Bomberry at 11:55. So 7-2 Nighthawks, 15-5 are the shots in favor of Rochester.
Rochester really seems, like I said, settled in their offense. They're going after, they're winning the majority of the loose balls. The two goals that New York got were really earned goals. Rochester playing, that defensive unit playing extremely tough, checking, picking up loose balls. Transition looks real good. The passes are crisp. Rochester's really pouring it on here in the first quarter.
Thorpe taking the draw for Rochester, trying to spin the ball away, but he loses that draw. It's picked up by Rosa. The faceoff was won by Kirby of New York. Rosa bounces it ahead, tries to get it over, cannot, but New York controls in the Rochester zone. Clash asking for the ball and gets it. Setting it up far side of the Rochester zone, still with the ball. Dumps it over for Clark. Clark near side, we have a whistle.
And we got the two former SU guys going at it, Pat Kugovin and Pat McCabe. A little scrappy down low. They're both going to go for 2 minutes. Both former Syracuse All-American defensemen going at it here in the first quarter.
Time of those penalties is 12:20. Clark setting it up over to Clash, has trouble controlling it. Now finally gets the ball back. Sprints in the slot, one-on-one with O'Toole. Wide with a shot and a save by O'Toole.
Beautiful save by Pat O'Toole. No one picked up Ramar Clash running down the middle, and he just put one in right in front of the cage, and O'Toole makes a nice stop.
Grant breaks in the slot, one-on-one with Weatherup. Wide shot and misses the net. Bounces way up top, picked up by Williams. Williams controls the ball, fights off one slash. We have a whistle.
And we're going to have an interference call there.
So New York will take over with 2:01 remaining in quarter number one. Prout starting the offense up for New York. Both teams running four-side. Pushes it into the Rochester zone. Watch there by Turner. Dumps it off now as New York trying to answer here. They're down 7-2. Back up top. Spins away from one. Loses the handle. Still gets the shot up. It goes into the mesh behind the net. Brock. Casey Zaph was all over him, and Brock still got the shot off, but it went into the netting behind the net.
And Andrew Turner looks like he's going to sit for a couple minutes for what could be a slash. 2 minutes on the hold, actually. Andrew Turner, which give the power play 4-on-3 to the New York Saints.
The Driscoll will start the power play for New York. Swings it over for Clark. Back up top for Driscoll. Has a lane over to Clark. Clark winds with a shot saved by O'Toole. It kicks all the way across the midfield stripe. Weatherup comes way out of his goal to play that. Scoops it up and gives it off to Driscoll. 1:20 remaining quarter one, 7-2 Knighthawks. Driscoll into the Rochester zone. Takes a shot over to Clark. Clark walks right in the shot. What a save by O'Toole, but he gets it back and pushes it by the netminder of Rochester. It's 7-3.
Clark doing a real nice job initially. Kris Driscoll getting the assist on that. Drawing and dumping. He drew the defenseman, the point defenseman. They were playing a bit of a triangle. Drew the defenseman, drops it over to Clark. Clark makes one move like he's going to take the shot. O'Toole bites on it, and he just puts it by him easily for the easy power play goal. 7-3 here in favor of Rochester as Reggie Thorpe takes this draw.
13:49 the time of that goal by Clark. Driscoll should get the assist. 7-3 Nighthawks. Prout now into the Rochester zone. Watched there by Hasen. He's got Hogan breaking behind him. He's also got Black out on the floor and Clark. Then over to Clark. Near side, winds with a shot, misses the net. No one can find the loose ball. Hogan goes after. Nice move to get past him by Hasen, but it's going to be whistled down. It's going to be possession New York.
30-second clock for New York. 51 seconds in this quarter. They're going to look to press hard.
Kruger tries to feed it in front for Black. Black never saw it. It bounces off the boards, picked off by O'Toole. Starts it up the other way for Curt Malawsky. Breaks into the New York zone. Watched there by Rosa. Gives it off to Jenner. Breaks far side in the New York zone as Jacobs coming off the bench. He's watched there by Hogan. He decides to give it over to Sudan. Sudan near side. Trying to spring away from one and does. Feeds it right in front to Curt Malawsky. He misses the net. Grant now tried to get the loose ball. Was tied up behind the net. And back away comes McCabe of New York. Spins away from a check from Grant. Dumps it up the floor for Rosa. It goes too far. Banks off the end boards. And Pat O'Toole will pick it off for Rochester. Starts it up for Jenner. Races across midfield. 5 seconds to go here in quarter one. Over to Bomberry. Bomberry from outside. Winds with a shot and misses the net. And that's going to do it after 15 minutes of play here for the Blue Cross Arena. The Rochester Knighthawks lead the New York Saints 7-3. It's Rochester Knighthawks across on WYSL 1040 AM and also on the web, WYSL1040.com.
Hello, Volvo. Come in. You're quiet this week. Feeling misunderstood? It's the European thing, isn't it? People just assume you're unattainable. Truth is, you're a Volvo S40. You're financially and emotionally available. You're fun-loving, stylish, nimble, and turbocharged. Look inside yourself. There's room for 5, plus a whiplash protection seating system and 6 airbags. Classic defense mechanisms. So come on, open up. Good. Very good.
Revolvolution, the Volvo S40. It will change your mind about how attainable a European sedan can be.
For all of your new and pre-owned Volvo needs, visit Best Volvo at 1500 University Avenue, Rochester's exclusive Volvo dealer.
Families who come to Mary Carriola Children's Center share the most important part of their lives with us, their children. For more than 50 years, Mary Carriola has helped children with multiple disabilities to learn and grow and be the best they can be. Working or volunteering in our classes. What's up, bud? Is a rewarding experience because
Yeah, I tried taking care of it. I'm going to do it again. We'll see what happens. All right, okay.
Did you hear any crowd or PA in the background of our broadcast?
Say this again?
You didn't hear any crowd or PA mic in the first quarter, did you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because I just switched them both.
so I'm going to see if that eliminates the hissing, but I might have lost my crowd mic.
All right, okay. Well, we're good. I mean, we heard it. I still hear them, if that matters.
Okay.
All right.
Great truck.
All right, we're coming back here.
Always has the right vehicles.
Yep, we're coming back.
Molly in Hunter Falls. It's not as far as you think.
The WYSL Radio Network.
WYSL.
You're back.
Welcome back to the Blue Cross Arena where the Nighthawks lead. The New York State 7-3. We're underway here in second quarter action. Bomberry control. Feeds it over to Jacobs near side. Dumps it off for Jenner. Jenner takes the ball. Springs free in front of that. Has a lane. Dumps it in front for Curt Malawsky. And a shoulder save by Weatherup. Malawsky goes after it. So does Duane Jacobs. Malawsky wins that battle. Rosa intercepts the pass, but Malawsky's there to give it to Bomberry. Back up top for Jenner. Wise with a shot to shoulder save by Weatherup. Weatherup making some huge saves early on here in the second quarter for New York.
Really trying to keep it close here. Right there, nice save out the side, nice hard shot coming from Ted Jenner, who's looking strong in the first quarter.
New York now controls. Driscoll, side of the net. Back over to Prout, has it knocked away. Back away comes Kruger in a foot race with Prout. Over and back violation, it'll be Nighthawk ball.
Good defense by Pat Kruger, stepping up, knocking that ball or stick down, forcing the turnover right there. And that's what Rochester really needs to do, continue to force turnovers.
Rochester controls now. Darcy Sweet over to Hollenbeck. Hollenbeck right in front of the net, deflected wide. He couldn't connect with Sweet. Weatherup can't control the loose ball. Sweet goes after it, along with Abrams. Squirts free far corner. Scooped off the turf there by Polanco, but he has it taken away by Sweet. Prout goes in after it to help out. Marshall Abrams digs for the ball. Still a loose ball on the turf. Abrams goes after it, wins that battle with Spalina. He's double teamed in the corner. Gets it back over to Hollenbeck. Hollenbeck far side, gives it over to Williams near side. In the New York zone. Still with the ball, breaks around one, trying to go around two, still has the ball, finally has it stripped away, and Weatherup starts it up the floor the other way for Black. Across midfield, dumps it off for Clash. Clash in the Rochester zone, back paddles in the near corner. Still has Hogan breaking off the bench, also has Clark, and Driscoll gives it off to Driscoll. Has the ball. Near side, feeds it right in front of the net. The shot by Clash hits Zaph in front of the net. Loose ball still on the carpet, picked off there by Reggie Thorpe, who outlets it over to Hasen. Gives it off to Hollenbeck, who crosses midfield for the Nighthawks. 7-3 Rochester. 15 minutes and 40 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. Curt Malawsky with the ball. Watched there by Rosa in the New York zone. Still with the ball. Setting it up for Rochester. Dumps it over for Jenner. Back over to Bomberry. Bomberry fights off two slashes from McCabe. Breaks around one. Tries to give it over to Sudan. Jacobs goes in to help out, but it's picked off and dumped ahead for Driscoll. Driscoll with a shot and a save by O'Toole. He took that outlet pass and a breakaway. Was bothered from behind a little bit by Ted Jenner. Still got the shot off, but a great save by Pat O'Toole.
Those two play against each other in summer all the time. Don't tell me for a minute Pat O'Toole didn't know where he was shooting. Kris Driscoll tries the old pump fake in low.
Grant's over the shoulder shot, misses the mark. Picks off the turf there by Hollenbeck. Penalty upcoming to New York. Back up top for Abrams. Abrams lines with a shot saved by Weatherup. Loose ball picked off the turf by Nagliera. And there will be a penalty upcoming to New York.
And a real smart play shooting there. You don't want a guy coming down, especially a defensive player like Marshall Abrams, taking an outside shot like that. When you got a power play coming up and you can pull that extra man, you're gonna want to pull that out, settle the ball down, and see if they can get a 6-on-5 situation. These are the second-year guy. They'll figure that out pretty quick.
Jacobs now, side to Williams. Right in front of Curt Malawsky. The shot and a save by Weatherup. Malawsky got his foot in the crease, so it's going to be New York ball. Rosa started the offense. Over to Prout. Prout across midfield for New York. Watched there by Bomberry. Got Clark coming off the bench, who scored the last shorthanded goal for New York. Assisted by Prout. Prout with the ball near corner of the Rochester zone. Watched there by Kugavin. Feeds it across. The shot misses the net. Clash broke free in front of the net, but couldn't find the mark. Kruger picks up the loose ball, far corner. Wines with a shot saved. Now you got Clash tied up with Zaph. Big take their helmets off, and here we go. Clash misses with the right. Hits him with the right. Catches Zaph. Zaph catches him with the right. Another right. And they're just throwing haymakers. Clash has him trying to spin Zaph to the turf. It does. Now he's on top of him. Zaph spins away. He's got Clash pinned to the turf. And the referees go in there to break it up. It's a heavyweight fight there between Clash and Zaph. They went at it toe for toe, tit for tat, you name it. Casey's had the scrapper and having Clash. They just said, hey fellas, let's get it on. They both dropped their helmets. They went at it like that. They went at it. Good blows thrown there by both. Actually, I don't know who got the better of who, but it was a good little gathering. Time of those penalties would be 3 minutes and 41 seconds. They should both get fighting majors. There's still a penalty to Spalina of New York, so Rochester's still on the man advantage for another minute and 25 seconds. But New York has played very well down a man tonight. Oh, no doubt. They actually scored on that man short. A nice little move. They pressed the ball. They played a little tough defense. They're not out of this game by any means. 7-3. New York fighting to stay alive here. Rochester, a few more goals here and they could be over. So, you never say never for this New York team. New York controls it in the Rochester zone. Clark feeds it over to Prout near side. Trying to set it up shorthanded. Fed right in the slot. And Clark is cross-checked right in to Pat O'Toole by Pat Kruger. Pat Kruger just playing a little aggressive defense there. Just shoved Clark right into the cage. Almost injured O'Toole on that one. You got to be careful. Pat known to have some crazy knees, some bad knees. You don't want him going down. So another penalty to Rochester. Driscoll setting it up near side to the Rochester zone as both teams are going to run 4-on-4, and then New York will go on the man advantage. Driscoll fed it across to Kruger. He shot is saved by O'Toole. Loose ball picked off the turf by Turner, who headmans it to Thorpe. Thorpe pushes it across the floor to Abrams. Abrams now setting it up in the New York zone. Back up top for Williams. Stutter steps trying to get around his man, Kirby. Feeds it side of the net. Back up top to Grant. Grant fights around one and winds with a shot saved by Weatherup. Loose ball kicks free. Grant goes after it, fighting for it, and wins that battle for the loose ball. Gives it over near corner to Williams. Williams trying to fight his way in front of the net. McCabe all over him. He's dragged down to the turf, and we have a whistle. That's going to be New York ball. And now we got guys tied up behind the net. That John Grant is tied up. McCabe also. Nagliera now tied up with John Grant. Everyone on the floor tied up to the right of Weatherup in the New York zone. Pat McCabe getting in John Grant's face. John Grant doesn't want anything to do with that. John wanted a piece of him bad. He walked away. No penalties will be served here. So now Grant dumps his man to the floor. And Weatherup races to the bench. He just knocked down Nagliera to the floor, so Grant's going to be getting a penalty. Delayed penalty upcoming to the Rochester Knighthawks. Gavin Prout dumps it off for Clark. Clark's got Kruger. He elects to give it off to Brock. Brock swings it near side over to Driscoll. Back over to Kruger. Brock winds with a shot saved by O'Toole. Driscoll picks up the ball near side. Shot clock violation, and there'll be a penalty upcoming to John Grant of Rochester. That's just a frustration penalty for John Grant. He's got to keep his head, especially in a critical game. He can't be doing this. Now, this isn't one of those games, but he's still got to learn not to go for those retaliations. It's really going to hurt Rochester, as we, move towards this home stretch with Buffalo and Toronto coming to town. He's really got to show some leadership here and not go after some of these guys. So Rochester down 2 men for the next 40 seconds. Driscoll swings it over to Clark. Back up top, Driscoll. Driscoll winds with a shot. Shoulder save. Better front to Prout. Shot scores. This round robin, eventually you're going to get one man standing in front of the crease. That man have to be Gavin Prout standing there waiting for a cheeky pass in front. That one releases Pat Kogevin's penalty. So the Knighthawks still down one man for a minute 50 here, 5-on-4. And, this gives the New York Saints a time to catch up here. This is a little momentum for them going into halftime. If they get another one here, we got a 7-5 ball game. Time of that power play goal, 5 minutes And 22 seconds, Gavin Prout scores for the New York Saints. Whistle, the ball's going to be given back to New York. And Kirby will start the offense up for New York. Prout now with the ball near side. In the Rochester zone, back up top for Driscoll. Fights off one slap. To Nagliera, swings it far side. Back over to Nagliera, over to Driscoll. Driscoll walks in, shot, scores! And another power play goal as New York now chips away at the lead. They only trail 7-5. Power play goal. Right there, Kris Driscoll. He's eventually going to get his goals, and right there he does. The hard shot. It looks like he's going cross cage with it to the far side, but he comes near side and beats O'Toole for Kris Driscoll's first goal of the night. That wipes off the second penalty. So they're playing even now, but a 7-5 ball game in favor of the Knighthawks. Kirby against Bomberry, won by New York. Loose ball on the turf. Hollenbeck goes after. Hasen fishes for it. Kicked ahead. Picked up by Thorpe, who comes out of a pile of Saints. Dumps it off for Hasen. Hits off his stick where it's picked up by Bomberry. Bomberry walks right in over to Jacobs. A shot and a save by Weatherup. Kicks free. Malawsky goes after it. Kirby wins the battle for the loose ball. And a man breaking. Black gives it over to Black. He's got Prout on his left as he breaks into the Rochester zone. Settles it down now for New York. Dumps it up top for Clark. Clark watched there by Thorpe. Goes one-on-one with Thorpe. Fights off one check, trying to get a pick and does. As a lane winds with a shot, misses the net. Bounces in front of the net, and Bomberry's drilled down to the floor. Loose ball is lying right near him, and back out of the pile comes Thorpe across midfield into the New York zone. It's got Turner breaking with him. It's 2-on-3. He's also got Jenner over to Turner, and Turner can't touch pass it past Weatherup. He took the feed from Jenner at the side of the net, and Cory Bomberry now is curled up in a ball, still in the Rochester zone, ailing from that shot he took to the midsection as he tried to grab the loose ball. Yeah, he went up trying to grab that loose ball and was cross-checked right in the stomach as he did so. I don't know if it got him low or even lower than that, but he's down on the ground. The guy you don't want down if you're a Rochester Knighthawks fan. So 7-5 Knighthawks. Shots 20-14 in favor of the Rochester Knighthawks. This is Knighthawks Lacrosse on WYSL 1040 AM and also on the web, WYSL1040.com.
When you're out and about this week, be sure to pick up your copy of Free Time Magazine. Free Time Magazine is Western New York's original arts and entertainment magazine. Twice each month, Free Time puts it all together for you. Every issue covers concerts, sports, film, dining, theater, nightclubs, and festivals, along with interviews of some of America's most interesting performers and artists, plus reviews of the latest movie and CD release.
How long?
Yeah. How long?
How much time?
Right now, bring it back.
Okay.
The magazine. It's available free at more than 600 locations throughout the greater Rochester area, or look for us on the web at freetime.com.
We're back. We're back.
Welcome back to the Blue Cross Arena with the Rochester Knighthawks lead the New York Saints 7-5. O'Toole now outlets it to Jeremy Hollenbeck. Dumps it off for Sweet. Pushes it into the New York zone, far side. Sweet still with the ball, looking to pass it off, dumps it off for Grant. Winds with a shot saved by Weatherup, scooped off the turf there by McCabe. Fights off a check by Hollenbeck. Another check is stripped away by Grant. Hollenbeck now knocked down to the floor by McCabe. Spalina picks it up, but there's a whistle, and it's going to be possession Rochester. That's a push on Sam McCabe. Jeremy Hollenbeck and Jonathan Grant doing a nice job defensively, trying to keep that ball in their own end. They do. Sweet now, near side to Williams. Grant breaks in front of the net, has it one-on-one with Weatherup. The shot saved by Weatherup. He tried one of those over-the-shoulder shots, but it was a great save by Weatherup. But let me tell you, he's played outstanding here in the second quarter. Back up top for Sweet. Winds with a shot saved by Weatherup, down on all fours. And Spalina picks up the loose ball. Outlets it over to Rosa, has trouble controlling it, but takes it over in the midfield stripe. Dumps it off for Prout. Prout's got Brock breaking with him. He also has Clark. Dumps it off for Driscoll, who just came off the New York Saints bench. Back up top for Prout, who's going to slow it down now. 6.5 minutes remaining, second quarter, 7-5 Knighthawks. They have yet to score here in the second quarter. Prout now setting it up. Feeds it back up top for Clark, who's trying to spin away from two. Gives it to Driscoll. Winds with a shot. Misses the net. Shot clock violation. It'll be Rochester ball. A penalty upcoming to Reggie Thorpe for a hold.
30-second hold, or actually, excuse me, 2-minute hold. So another penalty to Rochester, and again, Rochester ill-advised penalties lets teams like the New York Saints get back in this thing. You know, 7-6 game going into half. It's anyone's ball game.
Hogan now controls it, setting up the offense. Over to Kruger, back up top. Hogan swings it over near side. Driscoll swings it over to Kruger, over to Hogan. Winds with a shot and a save by O'Toole. He had Gavin Prout waiting there for the loose ball, but there was no rebound. Abrams across midfield for the Knighthawks as they're running shorthanded for another minute and 40 seconds. As Curt Malawsky coming off the bench pitches it off to him. Jacobs now on the floor also. He takes the pass from Malawsky near side. Trying to push his way in for position. Dumps it up top for Sudan, who's watched there by Hogan of New York. Sudan skips away from one. Still with the ball. Takes it one-handed now. Looking for a lane. Trying to break in front. Winds with a shot saved by Weatherup. Loose ball on the floor. It's Sudan against 4 Saints, and it's kicked over to Weatherup, who will dump it off for Black.
Smart play by Tim, just killing the time and trying to get all he could out of the 30-second shot clock to get this penalty taken care of. Minute left in it. Ball still out front with Kris Driscoll.
Prout up top in the Rochester zone. Dumps it off, gets it right back, has trouble controlling it. Abrams goes after it. It squirts free towards midfield, and Prout corrals that loose ball. Still with it. Dumps it over. Clark falls down to the turf. Prout gets it, shoots it on net, but a shot clock violation again on the power play for New York, so it'll be Rochester ball.
New York trying to get cute in there, can't control the ball. He's trying to make too many passes. And there's some scrapping going down with both these teams.
Rusty Kruger and Mike Hasen tied up in front of the New York bench. Grant now will take possession for Rochester. Dumps it over for Sweet. Sweet controls the ball in the New York zone. Springs away from one. Decides to take it near midfield and set it up. Over to Hollenbeck as the Knighthawks are still shorthanded for 30 seconds. Back over to Williams. He's got a lot of open real estate. Set it up to Sweet. Scores! Darcy Sweet takes the pass from a familiar teammate, Shawn Williams, and beats Weatherup for the first goal of the second quarter for Rochester. It's 8-5.
Just a sweet play right there. Johnny Grant tying 2 guys up on defense. Leaves Williams breaking towards the cage, which created a shift in the defense, and the whole defense came, and backside cut from Sweet, and he's wide open, one-on-one, and Williams sees him and hits him for a great goal. Just a good cut by Sweet on the back door on the convergence of the defense onto John Grant, and Sal Locasio gets a timeout here.
What a huge swing that was. New York had fought back. They were down 7-3. It's now 7-5. And then Rochester comes back with a shorthanded goal to make it 8-5.
Yeah, real nice backside cut there. Again, in immediate possession off that face-off, New York calls a timeout. And they're going to try and set something up so they can't let Rochester get a little bit of a streak going here of their own after making a nice comeback, being down 7-2. And scoring 3 goals to make it 7-5, and Rochester getting their last one there. But again, nice play, calling a timeout by Sal Locasio, getting all over his guys, saying you got to hustle after this thing, and you know, loose balls, play smart, and make things happen. And that's what he's trying to set a precedent here.
Just have some scores from around the National Lacrosse League. We updated most of those before the game started, but we also have a score from Philadelphia, where at halftime the Philadelphia Wings narrowly beating now the Columbus Landsharks 8-7. That score is from halftime. And also, here's a surpriser, Montreal in jeopardy of losing again in the first quarter at Vancouver. They trail the Ravens 7-2. Hogan now swings it far side in the Rochester zone, over to Driscoll near side, winds with a shot, hits the stick of Andrew Turner, skips over the midfield stripe. And there's going to be an over and back violation. I thought Andrew Turner got a piece of that ball as it was fired on net.
Just hit the stick, he apparently didn't hit the ball. So Rochester getting that man short goal there nonetheless to kill this penalty off. The one is a holding call to Reggie Thorpe.
Sudan with the ball in the New York zone. Dumps it to Bomberry, who just came off the bench. Feeds it near side to Jenner, who winds with a shot and banks it off the back glass. Skips over the midfield stripe. Jenner can't cut it off, so it's going to be New York St. Ball over and back violation.
Tough little left-handed shot there. Just got away from him a little bit, missed the cage completely. And those are the ones where you learn your angles a little better and take the shots that are going to keep it in your own end.
So 8-5 Knighthawks, shots 26-15 in favor of Rochester. Hogan will start the offense for New York in the Rochester zone. Dumps it for Driscoll near corner. Back over to the side of the net. Fed over to Driscoll. Driscoll now controls for New York, swings it far side. Over to Kruger. Kruger's pass doesn't connect behind the net. Clark cuts it off before it goes over midfield. Hollenbeck tries to knock it away from him, but he managed to get it over to Clash. Clash with the ball, fighting for possession. Now in front of the net, over to Prout. Wines with a shot, he scores! He fired it past Pat O'Toole, and it's 8-6.
Prout with a nice little shot. Same spot that Driscoll scored from for that 6th goal. The power play goal right from the slot. Beats O'Toole to the same side, same shot. Again, a 2-goal lead here for Rochester, 8-6. Definitely getting outplayed here in the second quarter by the New York Saints of the Rochester Knighthawks.
Prout will get that goal. Time of the goal, 11 minutes and 12 seconds. It's 8-6. And off the face-off, we have a whistle. And it'll be possession New York.
There'll be a push on Casey Zaph, who's just out of the penalty box.
Brock now controlling the ball for New York. Gives it over to Clark. Dumps it off for Driscoll. Driscoll in the Rochester zone. Watched there by Turner. Springs free. Tries to feed over to the side of the net. Hits the stick of Brock. Kruger runs after, but it's picked off by Kugavin. Kugavin's got a breakaway on Weatherup. Kugavin, wide shot, and a save by Weatherup. Brock goes after it. Far corner of the New York zone. Back out of the corner comes Sweet. Sweet still has the ball. Tries to get a shot off. Grant now dumps it up top. There's nobody there, and it's picked off by Driscoll. Driscoll across midfield for New York. He's got Prout breaking in front of the net. Decides to slow it down. Dumps it off. Gets it right back up top in the Rochester zone. Got Clark coming off the bench. Fakes the pass and sprints near side. Watched there by Sudan. Dumps it off to Prout near corner. Prout springs free. Breaks in the slot. Has the ball taken away. Trying to get the ball. The shot is saved by O'Toole as it was swatted in front of the net. Pass is errant. And Clark picks up the loose ball for New York. Over to Prout. Prout's got a lane to shoot. Dumps it off for Driscoll. His pass is knocked down by Sudan and never made it in front of the net. There's a scrum for it in the near corner. Sudan goes after it. Driscoll's there. He picks up the loose ball. Has it knocked away from Sudan, and back away comes Hasen. Hasen's got Bomberry breaking to his left. He elects to slow it down, but he dumps it off for Bomberry. Bomberry now flips it off for Sweet. Less than 2.5 remaining second quarter. 8-6 Knighthawks. Gives it over to Abrams. Abrams has Hollenbeck breaking in front. Gives it over to Grant. Grant walks right in. Winds with a shot and misses the net. And it banks into the crowd.
Off the pipe there. Johnny Grant not finding the mark since his penalty there. He's not too happy with the way he's shooting right now. I'm sure we'll see a lot more. He's a little frustrated at this point. He wants to obviously pick things up here in this second half.
Kirby dumped it off for Brock as he sprints to the bench. Gives it over to Clark in the Rochester zone. He's watched there by Hollenbeck and also Zaph. Clark still with the ball for New York. Winds with a shot, misses the net. Squirts free in front, gets it right back side of the net. Brock spins away for one. Winds with a shot in the shoulder, saved by O'Toole. Loose ball fought for in the corner by Clash and also Marshall Abrams. Abrams trying to fight for the ball in the corner. Strips it away. He pinned it to his chest, so it's going to be Nighthawk possession.
Can't pin that thing to your chest there. Clash does, and they call illegal contact there. Rochester ball.
Kurt Malawsky will start the offense up in the New York zone. 8-6 Nighthawks. Minute and 20 seconds remaining here, second quarter. Sudan spinning away from one. Still has the ball. Over to Jenner. Winds with a shot. Saved by Weatherup. Loose ball now. Picked off the turf by Weatherup. He starts it up the other way for Black. Black trying to outlet. He does. To a man in front of the net, but he's cross-checked there by Kugavin. Kugavin all over him now as New York sending reinforcements on the floor. Gavin Prout still has possession of the ball. He couldn't shoot it. Good defense by Pat Kugavin.
Pat Kugavin just sticking it cross-handed to him.
Fed right in front of the net. Saved by O'Toole. Loose ball squirts off the floor. Wide shot scored. And Pat Kugavin gives Rusty Kruger a shot from behind, but Kugavin beats Pat O'Toole, and it's now 8-7.
Good ball movement by the New York Saints. Kruger, the recipient. Rochester not getting in the hole after good defense there by Pat Kugavin. The slide didn't come up. He found himself wide open. Rusty Kruger notches one here. 8-7 with 46 seconds. A critical goal there. Rochester just not hustling after the loose ball here.
They're outscoring the Nighthawks 4-1 here in the second quarter. Bomberry fighting for the loose ball. Sweet now tied up. Sweet comes out of the pile with the ball, has it stripped away there by Kirby. There's a scrum for it. Out of the pile comes McKay, but he has the ball taken away. Grant control in the New York zone, near corner. Still with the ball. He's got Williams and Sweet out there with him, along with Hollenbeck and Bomberry. Grant still with the ball, trying to break his way in front of the net. Gives it over to Sweet. Sweet winds with a shot and misses the net. Ball squirts free. Timeout Rochester. Grant controlled that loose ball, and Rochester calls a timeout with 17 seconds remaining here in the second quarter.
Rochester a little bit frustrated here. Worthrup settling down here in this second quarter, and the Rochester Knighthawks getting just outplayed here and out-hustled in the second quarter. And Paul Day trying to draw something up here to see if they can solve Phil Worthrup here with 17 seconds and go into the break with a 2-goal lead here. But again, Rochester being frustrated late here. Only 1 goal in this second half, or second quarter. Check that.
So 8-7 New York. Rochester led 7-3 after 1 quarter of play, and New York has stormed back and outscored the Knighthawks 4-1 here in the second quarter on Rochester's home turf.
Again, Rochester needs to stay out of that penalty box. If they're going to be successful in the playoffs, they need to play smart. Right here, they start the ball, looks like, with John Grant up top. And some sort of, I would think, a screenplay, moving the ball over to Curt Malawsky on the far side, and then a cut on the backside off a pick from Hasen, picking across and getting Dewey Jacobs open in the middle. Something like that either side. They're going to look to do it. They pulled the goalie here, so they got an extra man. They're going to hold it till about 5 seconds.
Grant now up top in the New York zone, trying to feed over for Malawsky, banked off his stick, but it's picked up there by Bomberry. Bomberry over to Williams, winds with a shot saved by Weatherup, and that's going to do it after 1 half of play. The Rochester Knighthawks lead the New York Saints 8-7. This is Rochester Knighthawks across the WYSL 1040 AM and also on the web, WYSL1040.com.
So I go into a Saturn retailer, and I say, I'm going to talk you down. And this guy says, we don't negotiate. Yeah, like, I believe that. So I say, I'm buying an L200, and I am not going to pay a point over 3% financing. And he says, well, right now, qualified buyers can get 0% APR financing on any new midsize L200. Okay, that's the way you want to play? So I say, throw in air and an AM/FM stereo with a CD player, and you've got a deal. And he says, they're standard. And then I say, I'm not paying for this cup of coffee you gave me either. And he says, you drive a hard bargain. Take delivery by January 2nd, 2002. Length of contract is limited. Not available with other offers. For restrictions, see your retailer.
Visit your local Rochester Metro Saturn dealer.
Hey, Dad, I know 7A has the middle.
All right, Craig?
Does Mario?
We have 2 minutes. Is that okay?
All right.
Okay.
Wait all the time.
At Mallgate, lease a 2001 Blazer for only $277 a month, or save over $4,000 on all 2000 extended cab Silverado 4x4s.
Hey, Dad, were all these great trucks?
The 4 Points Sheraton Rochester Riverside presents a romantic getaway package. Your getaway at the 4 Points Sheraton includes chocolate-covered strawberries, a bottle of champagne, a spacious guest room, and a rose on a pillow. Packages are available by calling 546-6400. The 4 Points Sheraton.
Coming back in a minute.
Day, 546-6400.
WYSL 1040 AM.
Coming back now.
Welcome back to the Blue Cross Arena, where the Rochester Knighthawks lead the New York Saints 8-7. Some scores from around the league. The Columbus Landsharks have come back to tie the Philadelphia Wings 12-12. I believe that game's in the fourth quarter. And the Vancouver Ravens lead the Montreal Express 9-6 in quarter number 2. And Billy, if you're inside the New York Saints locker room, what exactly is their game plan heading into the second half?
You know, that second quarter, they outplayed the Rochester Knighthawks. completely. Just basically played their game. In the first quarter, they looked to be playing a lot more of the, I would say Canadian style, try to work the ball inside, and Rochester really deflected that, took the ball away from them. They started to open things up and started moving the ball like a New York Saint teams does in the past, and they started to find themselves open. They're pushing the break, and I'm sure Sal Locasio had a lot of good things to say. He's a very passionate man about the game and about how physical and how aggressive you need to play out there, so I'm sure he got all over them. And the guy they're going to go to is Prout. They're going to stay with Prout all half and get the ball to him and let him work his magic.
And Gavin Prout, I remember him. He went to Mercyhurst College where I went to school, and he also was a teammate of Ted Jenner, who's having a great first half. He had a goal and an assist, and that matches his goal and assist from the Philadelphia game that he played. So not a bad home debut for Ted Jenner. He gets 1-1 in the first half.
No doubt. And, Rochester, that first quarter, they came out steaming, smoking, picking up every loose ball. And Paul Day, I guarantee, was all over these guys in the locker room saying, guys, be smart. This game isn't that close because we're in the penalty box. It's this close because we are. So use your head, stay out of the box, and get loose balls, and we'll be successful here. So I expect a quick quarter here, a breakout quarter for the Rochester Knighthawks in this third quarter.
And Shawn Williams starts up the offense of Rochester. In the New York zone, watched there by Spalina. Springs away from him. Still has the ball, watched there by McCabe. Circles the net, dumps it off for Abrams. Abrams controls, near side, fights off one check, springs free in the slot, dumps it off for Williams. Williams with the ball. Still with it, dumps it in front of the net, and it's picked off there by Weatherup. Loose ball is picked off the turf by John Grant. Grant clears the shot, misses the net, squirts free up top, and it's picked up by Williams, but it doesn't matter. Shot clock violation, the ball will be given in New York.
Good work in there by New York's defense, playing tough, the cross-check defense, and Rochester's not able to get a shot off.
Clark now controls in the Rochester zone, near side. Watched there by Turner, still has the ball, gets a pick, springs free. Still with the ball, bounces in front of the net to Kruger, the shot and a save by O'Toole. Toole starts it up the other way, gives it to Curt Malawsky. A nice play coming across the middle was Kris Driscoll to intercept that outlet pass, which was intended to Curt Malawsky. Driscoll now controls in the Rochester zone, winds with a shot and misses the net. Scooped off the turf there by Brock, back up top for Prout. Prout with the ball, goes one-on-one with Thorpe, tries to dump it off, it's picked off by Kugavin. Kugavin held from behind, has it stripped away, and it's swatted across the midfield stripe, but Ted Jenner's there to pick it up for Rochester.
Kugavin was definitely held in front there, no call on that, killed the break, but Rochester comes up with a loose ball.
Jacobs now, far corner in the New York zone. Back up top for Sudan. Sudan now, trying to spring away from one and does. Dumps it off for Jenner, has trouble controlling it. Watched there by Hogan in the far corner. Tippy toes around the crease. Back up top, Bomberry winds with a shot, but another shot clock violation for Rochester, and it'll be New York ball.
Rochester, that group there, the Sudan line, having trouble. The New York Saints are definitely stepping up on defense and clutching and grabbing. Not letting Rochester work their two-man games on each side and get the good passes off.
Brock springs free, passes it back up top for Hogan of New York. He's in the Rochester zone. Races far side, goes one-on-one with Hasen, gets around him, winds with a shot, misses the net, and Hasen picks up the loose ball off the backboards, dumps it off for Zaph. Zaph across midfield for Rochester, dumps it off for Sweet. Sweet running far side, pitches it off to John Grant. Grant controls. Back behind the net to Williams. Williams trying to look for Sweet in front of the net. Has Williams, and it goes right into the New York bench. He lost the control of that ball, lost the handle, and it went into the New York bench. I think that was intended for Marshall Abrams, who was in the slot.
Yeah, that was just a little bit of a miss. The ball kind of set up top in his stick and just an errant pass by Williams. We don't see that happen a lot.
Driscoll in the Rochester zone, far side, setting it up right in front of the net, hits off the stick of Brock. Brock manages to settle it down, back up top for Kruger. Kruger for New York in the Rochester zone, right in the slot, goes one-on-one, is trying to look for a man in front of that Clark, but he was knocked down. Loose ball picked up by Brock, he loses the handle as Thorpe got his stick in there, but Brock picks up the loose ball and still controls, winds way outside, misses the net, Turner can't control it. Brock picks up the loose ball, dumps it on O'Toole, but a shot clock violation. O'Toole, out of his goal, dumps it off for Curt Malawsky. Approaches midfield and crosses it for Rochester. Dumps it off for Jacobs. He's watched there by Kirby. shuffling his feet into the New York zone, feeds it in front. Can't find a man in front of the net. Polanco knocks down Sudan. Sudan still manages to find a handle. Wines with a shot and a save by Weatherup. But Rosa picks up the loose ball now for New York. Bounce pass far side. Naglieri dumps it back into the Rochester zone now. Passed it over to Clark. Back up top to Prout. Prout setting up the New York offense. 11.5 to go here. Third quarter, 8-7 Knighthawks. Fed right in front of the net. Hits a man in front. That was Hogan. Hogan still kicking and fighting for the loose ball behind the net. Jacobs goes in there, and it squirts free to Zaph, who takes the shot right in the chest, but manages to maintain his composure and dumps it off for Jenner, who races across midfield. He's into the New York zone. Winds with a shot and a save by Weatherup. Loose ball picked up there by McCabe. Dumps it up the floor. Back away comes New York. Driscoll back in front of the net. Back up top to Driscoll. Winds with a shot. Hits a man in front of the net. It hit the helmet of Jeremy Hollenbeck. It'll be New York possession.
Both teams playing very, very solid defense here. Utilizing that 30-second clock.
Prout with the ball. Springs away from one. Still with it. Watched there by Hollenbeck. Dumps it off for Brock. Spins away from one. Winds with a shot. Saved by O'Toole. Loose ball is directed back to Pat O'Toole by Darcy Sweet. O'Toole to Hollenbeck. Hollenbeck dumps it to Grant. Grant in the New York zone. Watched there by Spallina. Goes one-on-one. Winds takes the shot. Winds with a shot. Misses the net. Gets the rebound back. Another shot, and he can't find the near post. Ball squirts free up top near side. Picked up by Bomberry. New 30-second shot clock. Bomberry swings it over. Williams winds with a shot. Knocked down in front of the net. Picked up by Grant. Grant, far side, feeds it right in front of the net. Abrams winds shot and a save in front by Weatherup. Back up the floor. Nagliera now for New York. Watched there by Grant. He headmans it to Hogan. Hogan has Prout breaking in the slot. Back at the side of the net, the shot by Clark. He never manages to get it off. He's hammered down to the floor by Casey Zaph. Back up top for Clash. Clash with the ball now. Trying to settle it down here for New York in the Rochester zone. Back up top for Driscoll, who controls it. Springs away from one. Watched there by Grant. Back over to Clark. Clark spins away from one. Winds with a shot. Shoulder save by O'Toole. Loose ball skips off the turf. Picked up by Clark, who's driven into the boards by Marshall Abrams, and he picks up the loose ball.
Both teams really going at it right there. Gavin Prout made a sweet look right into the stick of Clark, who just couldn't get that shot off. Just a great behind-the-back look. He had a wide-open goal, but good defense by Zaph in Rochester to get the man over.
Sudan now breaking in front of the net. Dive! Shot scored! Tim Sudan leaped through the air and went over his shoulder, hit the chest of Weatherup, and it rolled into the net.
He did it again. Same move he used last week. It's the dive. We haven't seen that in a couple of years. He just brought it back. I don't know if the knees can handle it, but right there, Sudo takes the dive. He comes out, he beats his man, leaps across cage and goes over the shoulder and breaks Worthrup's streak here for the 2-goal lead for Rochester.
Whistle off the face-off. It'll be possession. Actually, at first it was possession New York.
And it looks like we're going to have a reface here.
Back we go again. Kirby will face off against Cory Bomberry. Sudan's goal. Time of that goal, 5 minutes and 57 seconds. Jacobs gets the assist, and Jenner. So it's 9-7 Knighthawks. They set it up again in the New York zone. Back up top for Hasen. Dumps it off for Bomberry. Swings it far side for Sudan. Still with the ball. Fakes the pass to Curt Malawsky. Runs near side. Has a lane to shoot. Winds with a shot saved by Weatherup. Malawsky's knocked down in the corner. And it's going to be possession Knighthawks.
Tim Sudan is all over the floor right now. Just loose ball shots, you name it. Just a burst of energy out of the Fairport native.
Sudan now fighting for position. Still with the ball. Swings it over to Jacobs. Winds with a shot. Save in front of the net. Loose ball picked up by Jacobs. Got Jenner in front of the net. Winds with a shot and misses the net. Ball goes over the midfield stripe. They wave off the over and back violation. O'Toole comes out of his net and dumps it off for Bomberry.
Rochester's going to look to change here and get a new line on. A fresh set of wheels, fresh 30 seconds.
Grant now in the New York zone. Fakes the shot. Watch there by McCabe. One hands it over to Abrams. Can't find Abrams, but it's picked up there by Sweet. Sweet back up top. Hollenbeck wide with a shot and a save by Weatherup. Fed right to the side of that to Grant. Grant triple team. Still gets the shot up. A save. Weatherup manages to get the loose ball. John Grant went 1-on-3. Managed to get the shot off. And the pass now is picked off by Abrams. Abrams in the New York zone. That pass never made it to McCabe. Williams now controls for Rochester. Far side of the New York zone. Trying to fight his way around McCabe and does. Has a lane to shoot. Breaks his way in towards the goal. Still with it. Has it knocked away. Ball squirts free of the turf. Spallina swats at it. Spallina now still going after it. Sweet goes in to help out. And so does Marshall Abrams. And the loose ball is picked up by New York and dumped up the floor to Brock. Brock, they have a 2-on-1. Brock and Kruger. Brock breaking in and O'Toole. Knocked down by Hollenbeck. Hollenbeck knocked that pass. Now Wise with a shot. Clash picked up that loose ball and fired it on O'Toole. O'Toole with a nice save. Came out of his crease on both knees to take that opportunity away.
Interference, or actually they're going to catch Rochester for leaving the bench early. It's the first one we've seen on that. That's a bench penalty on the Knighthawks. They caught him sneaking out a little bit early, trying to get the early break. Hollenbeck doing a nice job low, getting over it on the 2-on-1. New York moving the ball, and Hollenbeck just getting a stick out there. Nonetheless, Rochester will go man down on the leaving the bench too soon, which Jenner will sit for.
9-7 Nighthawks, 7:02 remaining here, third quarter. 8,471 on hand tonight to watch the Nighthawks play the New York Saints. Hogan now, back up top, over to Clark near side. Back up top for Hogan. Has that pass knocked down, but they maintain possession in the Rochester zone. The quick shot by Kruger misses the net. Driscoll's there to pick up the loose ball on the far side. Still controls it. Over to Hogan up top. Back over to Clark. Clark spins away from one. Back over to Hogan. Wines with a shot. Misses the net. Driscoll now. Wines. Shot. Saved by O'Toole. Rebound in front of the crease. And O'Toole comes out to trap it under his stick.
Great flurry there. O'Toole comes up big because there were two New York players right on the sidelines waiting for him to that ball to come bouncing out.
Turner now across midfield, fights off a check from Prout, gives it over to Bomberry. His pass hits a man, hits the stick of Curt Malawsky, but Jacobs is there to pick up the loose ball, has it stripped away from him in front of the net by Hogan. Hogan now for New York has it taken away by Jacobs, but New York maintains possession as Jacobs couldn't find the handle on it, and Black comes away with it, dumps it over for Prout. Prout feeds it over into the Rochester zone now. 50 seconds remaining on the power play. Back up top for Hogan. Hogan feeds it far side. Wines with a shot. The pass deflects, but it goes right into the stick of Clark. Clark back up top. Hogan. Wide shot. Misses the net. Ball squirts free towards the midfield stripe. Picked up by Abrams. Abrams touches it up. They're calling an over and back violation.
And Paul Day is furious. They killed that penalty. They killed that break. This was an awful call. They called the over and back as soon as it went over. They're saying that as soon as that crossed, they call it. They didn't think Abrams got to it in time, and Paul Day saying he did get to it in time. As soon as it crosses that line, they're going to blow that whistle dead.
5.5 minutes ago here, third quarter, 9-7 Nighthawks. Shot 38-26 in favor of Rochester. Grant now controls it in the New York zone. He's got Williams out there, Sudan and Sweet. Grant controls, going one-on-one with Kirby. Grant breaks around one, still with it, swings it near side to Sudan. Sudan springs away from one, back over to Grant. Grant trying to fight his way in towards the goal and does. Wide shot saved by Weatherup. Loose ball picked off the turf there by Kirby. Kirby bounces it into the far corner, swatted away, picked up by Sweet. Wines with a shot and a save by Weatherup as Sweet went diving through the crease, actually landed in it. So there's a crease violation. It'll be New York ball.
Sweet used the ref as a pinball there. Bounced off him, got the loose ball, and dove. Almost scored that.
Clash controls, far side of the Rochester zone. Spins away from Jenner, still has the ball. Fights off one, Clash springs away from another as Turner now watches him back up top for Brock. Wines with a shot, misses the net, and the loose ball is picked up by the Nighthawks, Andrew Turner. Turner starts it up the floor to Jenner. Walks it across midfield into the New York zone. He's got Jacobs, Curt Malawsky, and Cory Bomberry and Tim Sudan joining him. Back up top, Bomberry. Bomberry fakes the shot. Back over to Jenner. Wide to the shot. Scored! Ted Jenner takes the feed from Bomberry and fits it right under the crossbar. It's 10-7 Rochester.
Jenner with his second goal tonight. The kid can score. He's doing a nice job on defense, offense. And right there, coming off a pick high, the lefty lets one rip, a little screen in front on Weatherup, and he beats him over the right shoulder for his second goal of the night. Rochester pulls ahead by 3.
Bomberry should get the assist, and the second goal of the night for Ted Jenner. Time of the goal, 10:36. New York wins the draw, bounced all the way back to Weatherup. They're calling an over and back violation. So it'll be Rochester possession. Duane controls near midfield, dumps it off for Jenner. Watched there by Spallina, far side in the New York zone. Still with it, back up top to Bomberry. Bomberry watched there by Nagliera, feeds it right in front of the net to Jenner. Jenner still with it, back up top to Bomberry, swings it over for Jacobs. Jacobs winds with a shot, scores! Wayne Jacobs through a screen, 11-7 Knighthawks.
I think you're finding their spurt here, the Rochester Knighthawks. The last 4 minutes catching last two goals. Tim Sudan started it up. And right there, Dewey Jacobs fights through 2 guys and lets a bouncer rip. With a screen again in front for Phil Worthrup. Never had a chance. Bounced straight through. 11-7 Rochester.
Have to wait for the assist on that goal at 11:01 here in the third quarter. 11-7 Knighthawks as they strung together 3 here in quarter number 3. Sweet controls, near corner in the New York zone. Dumps it off for Williams. Williams trying to break his way in front of the net. Looks to give it up top for Grant. Still with the ball, fights around one, right in front of the net, as Williams can't connect. Williams goes after the loose ball with Spallina, and it's won there by Williams. Williams, a shot saved by Weatherup. Grant goes after it far corner and collects the loose ball. Setting it up now for Rochester in the New York zone. Fakes the shot, trying to spring free in front of the net. The shot, and it misses the near post. Springs free. Sweet can't control it. Picked up there by Black of New York. Races into the Rochester zone, trying to go around Abrams, and does. Winds with a shot and a save by O'Toole. Loose ball. Prout controls it. Back in front of the net to Kruger. He can't find the handle. Squirts free up top. Controlled there by Clark. Back over to Kruger. Right in front to Prout. Spins away from one. He's got a lane. Elects to dump it off to Clash. Clash trying to walk around one. Cannot. His pass is knocked down. Goes right back to O'Toole, who's going to control it for the Knighthawks.
What a flurry there, I tell you. New York flicking the ball around. Really little touch passes, and Rochester just cross-check defense, not letting him inside at all, get good shots, and the ball flicks right into the hands.
Derek Malawsky swings it far side for Jacobs. Back up top, Sudan. Sudan working his way in front of the net. Feeds it in front to Derek Malawsky, but he deflects it wide. Weatherup, the other end of the floor. Jenner tries to knock it down, ties up Prout. It goes all the way back on O'Toole.
They're going to call holding on Jenner there. It was grasping Prout a little bit. Tough call from the far field judge there. He's on the far end of the floor. He called that.
Prout, New York. Prout controls it. Far side of the Rochester zone. 11-7 Knighthawks. 2 minutes remaining here, third quarter. Back over to Brock near side. Watched there by Kugavin. Still with the ball for New York. Swings it over to Driscoll. Backpedaling now. Trying to find position, trying to feed it off to somebody in front of that. Breaks around 2 Knighthawks, still with the ball, running near side. Feeds it at the side of the net. Thorpe ties up his man, Brock, at the side of the net. Zaph goes falling on top of him. Loose ball is picked up by Kugavin. Shot clock violation, it'll be Knighthawk ball. Kugavin now pushing it up the floor, approaches midfield, crosses it, dumps it off for Grant. Grant controls. Watched there by Nagliera and also Driscoll. Grant still with the ball, minute and a half remaining, third quarter. Back over to Abrams. Abrams near side. Dumps it off for Sweet. Sweet with the ball for Rochester. Fights off one check, still with it. Cradles it, still with it. Wise with a shot. Weatherup the save. Loose ball springs free up top. Sweet wins that battle for the loose ball with Nagliera. Dumps it over for Abrams. Back up top for Shawn Williams as Jenner coming off the bench. Williams now still with it. Wise with a shot saved by Weatherup. Has it trapped underneath them.
Good flurry. Rochester almost getting caught with an extra man. John Grant really wanted to go, but Guy Van Arsdale, the assistant coach, holds him back. And New York's ball on a save by Worthrup in tight.
Nagliera controls in the Rochester zone, going one-on-one with Hasen. Spins away from one, has trouble controlling it. Still with the ball backpedaling. Tried to feed it over to Kruger, broken up by Reggie Thorpe, and Kugelman's there to pick up the loose ball. Gives it over to Turner. He's watched there by Prout. Runs across midfield, fights off a check by Prout, still with it in the New York zone. Watch there by McCabe, so he elects to dump it off for Sudan. Dumps it near side for Curt Malawsky. Has a man breaking in front of the net, elects to settle it down. Back up top for Bomberry, who's watched by Prout. 30 seconds remaining third quarter. Wise with a shot saved by Weather. Rebound, Jacobs can't control it. He's got his foot in the crease as he reached for it. He tried not to get either feet in the crease, but he's driven in there. It's a crease violation. It'll be New York ball.
Curt Malawsky wide open down the middle. Just a little timid in there. He elected not to try and catch that. He's got a cross check right in the back.
Clark now swings it over to Clash, far side. 12 seconds remaining, third quarter, 11-7 Nighthawks. Clash still with the ball. Watch there by Turner. Wines with a shot. The red light went on, but O'Toole made the save. Dumped ahead through midfield, and it's caught there by Brock, but that's going to do it after 3 quarters of play. The Nighthawks lead the New York Saints 11-7. This is Nighthawks Lacrosse on WYSL 1040 AM and also on the web, WYSL1040.com.
The people you want when you want them? Try the Nextel Get Connected 6,000-minute rate plan. It gives you 2,700 minutes of Direct Connect, the digital two-way radio feature, plus 300 cell minutes and 3,000 night and weekend minutes, all for $49.99. For more details, call Nextel at 50-2000. Nextel, how business gets done. Offer ends March 31st, 2002. Credit approval, 1-year service.
How many seconds should I wait for you?
Okay, well, we got about, after this, I have 1 minute.
Okay. That's the third OT game of the day. Wow. No work.
You all right?
Yep.
We got about 15 seconds. Okay.
All right, we got it. Cheers, back up.
Rolls. You'll always find something wholesome, sweet, and delicious at Tops Baker's Oven Bakery. Tops Baker's Oven. Homemade goodness without all the fuss. Just what you're looking for.
All right, we're coming back.
Welcome back to the Blue Cross Arena, where after 3 quarters of play, the Rochester Knighthawks lead the New York Saints 11-7. Shots on goal, 45-29 in favor of the Nighthawks after 3 quarters of play. Thorpe will take the draw here for Rochester against Prout, taking his first draw of the game, and it's won there by Prout. Black picks up the loose ball. Controls and now spins away from a check by Sweet. Back up top for Prout, who pushes it into the Rochester zone. Takes a check there from Kugavin, but maintains possession of the ball. Dumps it near corner for Driscoll. Back up top for Kruger. Races far side. Trying to get in front of that. Does. Winds with a shot saved by O'Toole. Loose ball is steered back to O'Toole. Is going to start it up the other way. Dumps it off for Zaph, who races across midfield. Waiting for help off the bench and dumps it off there for Darcy Sweet. Gives it to Holland back up top. Dumps it off for Abrams. Abrams watched there by Spalina. Gives it over to Williams near side of the New York zone. Fights off one slash. Still with it. Fighting for position, trying to spring free in the right free in the slot, but it's knocked away and it's picked off there by Hollenbeck. Hollenbeck swings it far side, winds with a shot. Abrams' shot is saved there by Weatherup. The shot clock had expired, so shot clock violation, New York ball.
So fourth quarter here, Rochester stepping it up and getting a flurry of goals late in that third. And see if they can build off that.
Driscoll, near corner, feeds it right in front of the net. The shot misses the mark as Clark tries the behind-the-back shot. Squirts free towards the midfield stripe. Turner goes after it, over and back violation. It'll be Rochester possession.
Really shutting down these New York Saints. Haven't really gotten a decent shot since the end of that second period.
Kurt Malawsky takes the ball from Turner, gives it to Sudan. Sudan in the New York zone. Has a lane, backpedaling now, still with the ball. Winds with a shot, misses the net. Loose ball picked up there by Bomberry. Right over to Malawsky, the shot, and a save by Weatherup. Jacobs now with the ball, near side. Feeds it right in front of the net to Malawsky. Hits off his stick. He controls the loose ball in the near corner. Watched there by Brock. Circles the net. Still has the ball. To Jenner, shot scores! Ted Jenner takes the feed in the slot and beats Weatherup.
Jenner on the hat trick again. He moves really well off ball. And Malawsky sees him. Malawsky draws a lot of attention, picks the ball up, takes it around the cage. And as he does, the whole defense again shift. Not a good slide back. Jenner cuts off the back corner. An easy one-time shot. Nice cut by Ted Jenner for his hat trick of the night.
Jenner's third goal of the contest makes it 12-7. Knighthawks. Time of that goal, 1 minute and 50 seconds into the fourth quarter. Thorpe will take the draw against Prout of New York. One there by Prout. Dumped off there for Spalina. Spalina fights off one check by Sweet. Prout now with the ball for New York. Sprints across midfield as he took the pass from McCabe. Gives it over to Clash in the Rochester zone. Has the ball near side. Still with it. Has Driscoll at the side of the net. Elects to break free in the slot, and he's knocked down to the floor by Kugavin. Loose ball is picked up by Kugavin. Had the hit and the loose ball on that play.
Kugavin having a silent but deadly game, playing a very good defense tonight, picking up a lot of loose balls, and pretty aggressive out there. Knocks someone on their can, and they're having a good old time out there. This defense loves to play aggressive.
Williams now back up top for Sweet, over to Hollenbeck in the New York zone. Back over to Grant. Grant trying to fight his way in front of that. Still with it, winds with a shot. Weatherup can't find it. It's in his pads, and he makes the save.
Well, we got Rochester leaving again early. Or a hold on Malawsky. Maybe that's what it was after the play. Actually, check that. It's McCabe for New York who got the penalty.
Rochester on the power play. 12-17 left here in the fourth quarter. Kurt Malawsky dumps it over for Grant up top, near side to Jacobs. Gets it back from Abrams. Back up top for Grant. Grant walks in. Tries to one-time it as he passed it over to Williams. Picked up there by Spalina. Goes through the crease. Still has it. His pass is picked up. Williams, the shot hits the post. He picked up the loose ball and hit the post. Spalina's pass went errant, and Williams is right there in front of the net to pick it up, but he can't put it past Weatherup.
Oh, Williams with the one-timer had the easy one, and they press it again and pick it up.
Williams now with the ball, backpedaling. Back up top for Grant. Grant has it up top, a lot of room to shoot. Gives it over to Jacobs, back up top for Grant. Grant winds, feeds it over to Kurt Malawsky. Winds with a shot saved by Weatherup. He has it pinned to the far post.
Good movement by Weatherup there, getting over there to stop Kurt Malawsky's one-timer. Kurt didn't have a real handle on that. Usually he'll one-time that thing right in.
Driscoll now across midfield into the Rochester zone. Back up top for Clark, who's watched by Zaph. Clark sprints away, far side in the Rochester zone. Watched by Zaph, still with the ball. Passes it over to Prout near side. Watched by Thorpe. His pass is picked off by Grant. Grant takes it out of the Rochester end. 11 minutes remaining in the contest. 40 seconds remaining in the power play. Grant across midfield for Rochester. Into the New York zone. Over to Jacobs near side. Back up top, Grant. Over to Bomberry. Back up top for Grant. Grant winds with a shot. Hits the post. Jacobs tries to find a handle on it. It's swatted back towards Weatherup by Rosa. And back away come the Saints. Picked up by Clark. Clark's pass goes too far. Banks off the end boards. Thorpe goes after it. O'Toole now gets his body involved there as he hit Clark. Clark's pass was intended for Brock in front, and a great play by Pat O'Toole hammered Clark behind the net. Back away comes Grant, behind the back pass to Williams. Williams wide with a shot saved by Weatherup. Squirts free up top. Picked off there by Black. Black's got a 2-on-1 developing. Black feeds it right in front of the net. The shot by Nagliera misses the mark. Ball squirts free. End-to-end action. Zaph now. He's got a breakaway to Bomberry. Wide with a shot. Scores! Cory Bomberry winds up right in front of the net and beats a defenseless Weatherup.
No faking for Cory Bomberry right there. Cory, known for that outside shot. He's right in front of the goaltender, nobody there, and he winds up.
I mean, usually a guy's going to throw a little fake, a dip and dunk, you know, something like that. Cory winds up and tries to blow it through the middle of the goaltender's chest, and basically did because he hit him, and Worthrop stopped it, and the ball trickled underneath his legs and in the goal, but pretty funny exchange there.
Face-off picked up there by Sudan as Rochester won the draw. Sudan with his far side. That goal at 4:55, Cory Bomberry's goal. I don't know if you could call that a breakaway, but he scored nonetheless.
Much.
Back up top for Bomberry. His pass is caught there by Curt Malawsky. Line shot misses the net, banks off the back of the net. And it will be New York possession. McCabe now starting it up the floor for the Saints. His pass is caught there by Nagliera, who runs near side. Got position, pass to Hogan. Hogan breaks in the slot, winds with a shot, hits the backboards, banks in front of that, picked off by Zaph. Zaph's got Hasen breaking, he's also got Grant. Hasen, wide shot, scores! Hasen on the breakaway, or excuse me, check that, Zaph on the breakaway. I'm not used to calling these defensive guys out going to the cage, but right there, all hustle. The big shot came down to the other end, and Zaph came up with it, went coast to coast. And the bounce shot, which looks like splitting the difference here between Rochester and New York, 14-7. Zaph on the quick bounce shot, brings it coast to coast. He's probably gassed. So Zaph elects to shoot instead of passing to Mike Hasen and bounces it past Weatherup. I think my surprise was not only on that goal, but also on the final that I got. The Columbus Landsharks defeat the Philadelphia Wings 15-14 in overtime. Schiller had the game-winning goal, so the Philadelphia Wings continue to have problems, and a huge win for the Columbus Landsharks.
Oh, big win for Columbus, beating Philadelphia. Is that in Philadelphia? It's a tough place to play down in Philadelphia, as Rochester well knows.
Grant now breaks around one, springs free in front of the net, winds, shot, scores! Feeds Jeremy Holland back on the doorstep, and the Nighthawks convert again, 15-7 Rochester.
There's some unselfish play by Johnny Grant. Could have had it. And Phil Worthrop saying Jeremy Hollenbeck had 2 feet in the crease. And he just may have. But nonetheless, they count that one up. A nice feed across from John Grant, right into the stick of Jeremy Hollenbeck, who was sitting right on the doorstep. One fake and a score for the Nazareth College grad. And New York looks like they're going to take a timeout.
So Hollenbeck's goal at 6 minutes and 17 seconds here in the fourth quarter. Grant should pick up the assist on Hollenbeck's goal. 15-7 Rochester Nighthawks. This is Nighthawks Lacrosse on WYSL 1040 AM and also on the web, WYSL1040.com.
Hey, Dad, I know Saturday has some really cool trucks. But why does Malye have so many?
Because Malye is one of the... Yeah, how long of a break is this now?
Gord Nash.
Hello? How long of a break?
30 seconds.
Okay.
It's the right vehicle, especially for you, buddy.
Malye in Hunter Falls. It's not as far as you think.
Coming back.
Welcome back to the Blue Cross Arena where the Rochester Nighthawks lead the New York Saints 15-7. Hollenbeck scored from John Grant and Shawn Williams. Time of that goal 6 minutes and 17 seconds. And Weatherup looks like he may go the distance.
Yeah, he is going to go the distance. I didn't think, I thought they may be putting in Gord Nash, but he did stay on the sideline there. Those numbers are deceiving. I thought he may have been coming in, but they're staying with Worthrop.
Rochester wins the draw. Black goes after the loose ball. So does Spallina, and he comes out of the pile with the loose ball. Races into the Rochester zone. Cross-check right in front of the New York bench, but Prout takes that pass from Spallina. Watch at the side of that. Springs free in front of the net. Winds with a shot. He's knocked down in front. And there's going to be a penalty upcoming to the Nighthawks.
Andrew Turner going to the sin bin. They call it the penalty box for a hold there on the drive. So a little extra man here for the New York Saints, who've been basically shut out here in the second half.
Prout now, up top. Sees it far side, gets the pass right back. Over to Driscoll near side, back up top, Prout. Side of the net, spread right into Driscoll. Driscoll's shot is saved by O'Toole. Loose ball, squirts free up top. Clash can't control it, but it's fed into the near corner, and it's picked up there by Driscoll. Driscoll setting up the power play for New York. Fed right in front of the net, the shot and a save on Rusty Kruger by Pat O'Toole. Loose ball now, picked up by Clark. Back up top to Driscoll. Side of the net, back up top to Driscoll. Back over to the side, the shot, he scores. Great ball movement between Rusty Kruger and Kris Driscoll, and they tally here on the power play to make the score 15-8.
The two Canadians playing catch, back, forth, and finally back, and Kruger notches it. I'll tell you, O'Toole's got to be tired after seeing that ball moving back and forth. His foot speed has to keep up with him on that one, because that ball was just going back and forth, and the two Canadian kids connect for a nice goal, 15-8. Favor of the Knighthawks.
7:19 the time of that goal. Driscoll will pick up the assist. They have a whistle off the face-off. It'll be New York ball. Ball swatted ahead. Picked up there. Kugavin goes after it. Loose ball still being fought for. Prout comes away with it in the Rochester zone.
Penalty upcoming.
Feeds it over to Kirby. Dumps it off for Driscoll. So another power play opportunity maybe upcoming here to New York if they don't score here on this possession. Prout up top. Feeds it side of the net. Back in front to Rosa. Rosa winds with a shot saved by O'Toole. It's touched up. So there's going to be a slashing call upcoming here to the Knighthawks.
And Cory Bomberry's going to head to the box now. 15-8 here, but Cory Bomberry's going to go for that slashing call. Again, we're going to see that defensive unit. New York finally scoring here late in the fourth quarter after a long drought this whole second half.
Clark controls, far side of the Rochester zone, back up top for Prout. Prout with the ball, back punting, lines with a shot, saved, and O'Toole swats it out before it can go in the goal. Fed ahead to Turner, but it's picked off there. Good play coming back by Clark of New York. New York controls across midfield. Still with the ball, setting up the power play for New York. Bounces it over to Prout up top. Over to Driscoll, winds with a shot, he scores! Driscoll squeezes it past Pat O'Toole, and it's 15-9.
Kris Driscoll loves that slot position right there. They put him up there no matter what team he's on. Whether it be Detroit Turbos back in 91, Buffalo, off to Rochester, back to Buffalo, back to New York. He always manages to play that same position, and he always manages to score from that same spot. Right there, he notches his second one from that same position, third of the night for Kris Driscoll on the power play goal.
Time of that goal, 8:19, pulls them within 15-9. Rochester controls the ball in their own zone. Back away comes Tim Duane. He's one-on-one with Prout. Got Jenner breaking in one-on-one. Winds the shot, he hits the crossbar. Took the feed from Tim Sudan, was one-on-one with Witherup, and he banked it off the crossbar.
Turner could have had four right there. Nice feed from Pseudo, but just couldn't bury it. Witherup made him miss it. And looks like New York's pulled the goalie again for a potential upcoming power play or penalty. No penalty, no hand up. They're just pulling the goaltender.
Driscoll's pass is knocked down in front of the Rochester net. Controls it near side. Still has the ball. Swings it over. Gets it right back. Driscoll has a lane. Winds with a shot saved by O'Toole. Hogan was there in front. O'Toole looking towards the empty net. It was quite inviting, but he couldn't get the shot off as Witherup raced back to his goal crease. Curt Malawsky controls it in the New York zone. Back up top for Bomberry. Bomberry feeds it to Sudan, who just came off the Rochester bench. He's in the New York zone. Feeds it right in front of the net. The shot and a save by Witherup. Jacobs now circles the net for the Knighthawks. Back up top, Sudan. Sudan still with the ball. Near side. Fighting off one check, still with the ball. Fighting off a check by Kirby. Penalty upcoming here to New York. Back up top for Bomberry. Back over to Grant in front of the net. The shot, he scores! John Grant fakes the first shot and squeezed it in between Witherup and the near post.
Great little little position there. John Grant just so patient with the ball. He's so creative. Right in front, he fakes the left side, far fake. And he gets the tender moving over to the left side. He just squeezes it into the short side. A great little fake inside. John Grant, frustrated tonight, early, comes back and makes it happen here late in the game to close things out.
Time of that goal, 9 minutes and 50 seconds. 16-9 Knighthawks off the faceoff. Abrams now breaks into the New York zone. Back up top for Sudan, far side. He's watched there by Kirby. Sudan dumps it off for Grant. Grant near side, has the ball, breaking in towards the goal. Over to Williams, it's knocked away, but Sweet's there to pick up the loose ball. Back over to Sudan in front of it, fights off one check, tries to pass it in front, and gets it over to Sweet as he was laying on the turf. Sweet now has the pass knocked away by McCabe. Fighting for it, far side. There's a whistle. It's going to be possession New York.
And handball there. Just couldn't handle the ball out front. Pat McCabe doing a nice job checking the ball away. But nonetheless, Rochester doing their thing here. 4 minutes. There's a bit of a panic set in over on that bench with Sal Locasio. Taking a chance to pull the goalie anytime they can. Go 6-on-5.
16-9 Knighthawks. Prout over to Driscoll near side of the Rochester zone. He's watched there by Hasen. Springs free still with the ball. Swings it over far side now as New York is trying to cut the lead, but they're trailed by 7. Clark feeds it in front. The quick shot saved by O'Toole. Has it underneath him as it was fed in front to Hogan, but a great save by Pat O'Toole to take away that opportunity. Hasen out. Took the pass from O'Toole. Approaches midfield and crosses the midfield stripe, dumps it off for Jenner, who has 3 goals tonight. Feeds it near corner to Jacobs. Jacobs with the ball now. Watched there by Spalina, dumps it off for Bomberry. Bomberry from way up top has the ball. Swings it over to Curt Malawsky, far side. Still with it. Breaks free in front of the net. Wise with a shot and misses the mark. Springs free way up top. Great play by Sudan. Set it up. Shot scores! Ted Jenner took the feed from Tim Sudan and beats Weatherup.
Jenner with his board tonight finds himself slotted in the right place at the right time. Just tearing it up here in his first debut here in Rochester. In front of the home crowd, gets his 4th. Should close things out here for Rochester. Tough to go here in 17-9 with 3:41. Doesn't look like New York's got much of a chance left here.
So Jenner's 4th of the night at 11:19 of the 4th quarter. Tim Sudan will definitely get an assist on that goal. That line's been clicking all night.
Absolutely, and Sudo's making a lot of things happen with the loose balls. Just getting the second and third opportunities to get shots on goal. And that whole line is definitely doing their thing tonight.
Hollenbeck takes the pass from Sweet as he just came off the Nighthawks bench, dumps it off for Abrams near side to Williams, passes it over to Grant near corner, watched there by McCabe. Grant breaks around 1, springs free in front of the net, wide shot, scores! John Grant broke free in front of the net and bounced it past Weatherup.
Again, fun to watch. Johnny Grant comes down. All the accolades, he's got all the moves. Just behind the back makes it look real easy. Johnny Grant inside. And New York's going to need a breather here. They're going to take a timeout as Rochester expands that lead 18-9, excuse me.
And John Grant scores at 11:45 here in the 4th quarter on the 60th shot tonight for the Rochester Knighthawks, so they have outshot the New York Saints 60-38. So after a very close first half, the Knighthawks, whatever Paul Day said to the team during halftime, has really worked.
Yeah, he definitely picked it up. The legs picked up. The guys really were aggressive, coming in after that, that disappointing second quarter. And they tended to out-lose ball this team. And, the New York Saints tried to stay with Rochester as much as they can, but Rochester just got too much power on that offensive end. And as soon as the loose balls come, on come the goals. And everybody contributed there.
The record for most shots taken in a game, 3 minutes and 15 seconds left, is 68, which were fired on the Columbus Land Sharks on January 19th of this year. So very close to tying or breaking that record. 60 shots so far for the Nighthawks as they have doubled up. The New York Saints is 18-9. Weatherup still in the goal for the New York Saints. Reggie Thorpe is going to take the draw against Kirby of New York.
Thorpe will take the draw. And wins it. Scoops it off the turf. Dumps it off for Tim Sudan. Races near far side in the New York zone. Still controlling it. 3 minutes to go here, fourth quarter. Dumps it near side for Jacobs. Has trouble controlling it and gives it to Bomberry, who dumps it off for Sudan. Over to Jenner. Jenner up top. Passes it over to Jacobs. Jacobs still with it, over to Bomberry, winds with a shot, hits a man in front of the net, and McCabe gives it right back to Weatherup, starts it up the floor the other way. Sudan hammers his man down in front of the penalty box. Loose ball is picked up by Bomberry, dumps it off for Sudan. Sudan breaking free on Weatherup, line shot, scores! Tim Sudan elects this time not to pass to Jenner, but to take it himself and beats a very disgruntled Bill Weatherup. Sudo getting into the action with the hat trick himself. Loves it, just takes it down, doesn't look like he's going to make the pass all the way, just shooting purely, and beats Worthrop again. Start up the bus. This one looks over. Prout will take the draw against Reggie Thorpe. Time of that last Nighthawk goal, 12 minutes and 27 seconds, as Tim Sudan scores for Rochester to make it 19-9. Prout fights to the ball, wins the draw. Spalina picks up the loose ball, but it's chopped away there by Kugovic, who dumps it off for Hasen. Hasen approaches midfield, dumps it off for Williams near side. Still has the ball, breaks free in the slot. Has a lane, winds, shot, misses the net. Hollenbeck can't knock down the loose ball. It bounces into the Nighthawk bench. It'll be Saints possession. 2:12 remaining fourth quarter, 19-9 Rochester. Clark controlling the ball in the Rochester zone for New York. Gives it over to Driscoll near side. Races around one, still with the ball. Feeds it right in the slot. Over to Hogan. Hogan out. Dumps it off for Prout. Winds with a shot. Hits a man in front of that. Springs free in front of the net. It's taken there by O'Toole. O'Toole outlets it to Hollenbeck. Crosses midfield as he fights off a check by Clark. Still with the ball, dumps it off for Curt Malawsky. Minute and a half remaining fourth quarter. 10-goal advantage for the Nighthawks, 19-9. Bomberry takes it far side in the New York zone. Swings it across for Jacobs. Jacobs, his pass is errant for Sudan, and it's picked up there by Nagliera. He has the ball chopped away from him by Curt Malawsky. Bomberry goes after it. Weatherup knocks him out of the way as he dumps it off there for Kirby. Kirby dumps it down the other end of the floor now as New York trying to get some late offense there as they trail 19-9. Bounce pass right in front to Driscoll. He's ridden out of the play by Zaph. Still fighting for the loose ball in the near corner. Hogan goes after, comes away with it for New York. Has trouble controlling it now as Sudan throws his body on the ball and the stick of Hogan. Hogan still fighting for the loose ball and wins it. Has a man breaking in front, but the pass is knocked away by Jacobs as it was intended for Rusty Kruger. And Jacobs rolls it back to O'Toole, who outlets it to Casey Zaph. Less than a minute remaining here, fourth quarter. Williams takes the pass near corner in the New York zone. Still with the ball. Back up top to Grant. Grant breaks right in front of the net. One shot, scores! John Grant beats Weatherup in the slot, and it's 20-9 Rochester. Johnny Grant sees a small opening, and anytime he's never going to give up. Anytime he can get a point, he's going to take it right there. He's right down the slot, fills up the net, makes it look easy. Right down the middle, never give up. He just saw a small opening, and Johnny Grant gets the 20th of the night. Reggie Thorpe will take the draw against Kirby of New York. Thorpe fights for it, kicked ahead by Kirby, picked up there by Clash. Clash goes in on 4 Nighthawks, loses possession of the ball. Picked up there by Hollenbeck, who dumps it off for Sweet. Across midfield, looks up at the clock, 20 seconds remaining, fourth quarter. 29 Nighthawks, he's going to settle it down far side of the New York zone. Still has the ball, dumps it off for Hasen. Stands are on their feet now. Williams takes the pass near side. Still with the ball, and that's going to do it. The Rochester Knighthawks have defeated the New York Saints 20-9. This is Rochester Knighthawks across on WYSL 1040 AM and also on the web, WYSL1040.com.
Old Rochesterville is located at 185 North Water Street in downtown Rochester, right on the banks of the Genesee River. It's conveniently located within walking distance of the Blue Cross Arena, Frontier Field, and many of Rochester's hottest night spots, major businesses, and Midtown Plaza. The luxury apartments have 13-foot ceilings, stacked laundry hookups, air conditioning, dishwashers, and large windows. There are 1- and 2-bedroom apartments with 12 different layouts to choose from. The complex has an exercise facility, a recreation room, and a private courtyard just for residents. So give them a call at 546-5047.
Got about 90 seconds left here, guys. We'll be back.
Dogs. No one makes them better than Schleichel's hot dogs. Hometown favorites from Schleichel's. The flavor is right. Every bite. Cover 'em with lots of everything nice. Everything you like. Come on, take one. No one makes the hot dog like Schleichel's. 'Cause how we make 'em makes them great.
The 4-Point Sheraton Rochester Riverside presents a romantic getaway package. Your getaway at the 4-Point Sheraton includes chocolate-covered strawberries, a bottle of champagne, a spacious guest room, and a rose on a pillow. Packages are available by calling 546-6400. The 4-Point Sheraton Rochester Riverside. Call today. 546-6400.
I don't get it, she says. These are Canadian heroes? They look like bad guys. They're missing teeth. They carry sticks. They beat the crap out of each other. But she goes real quiet as they pass the blue line. A beautiful pass to the slot.